Hi, what's up? You know, I want to talk about something that a lot of people have been talking about since Sunday. And it's about the incident that took place at the American Music Awards. Now, we all know that when the American Music Awards or any kind of award show, whether it's network or cable television, is aired, you have performances by various artists. And sometimes those artists, really showcase what they can do. Not just singing-wise, but visually. And sometimes some of the performances by artists have been controversial. You take a look at the MTV Video Music Awards. This past year, they had two controversial things. Jack Black, who's a very talented actor and comedian, and I think even musician, according to my mother, who was watching it, came out and said, everybody get down on your hands and knees and, give worship to, not God, but to God's enemy. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't like that. She changed it. And then Lady Gaga's performance got a lot of people talking. So those are controversial things there. But cable television's award shows aren't just subject to that. Network television is as well. Especially when you take a look at the American Music Awards. Over the past couple of years, over the years and not centuries, but decades that the American Music Awards have been around, you can't tell me that there haven't been any controversial acts. Because there have been. And you can add what Adam Lambert did this past Sunday to that list of controversial acts on the American Music Awards. Why do I say that? Well, let's take a look. Now, as I mentioned, when people like saying Adam Lambert are told that they're going to have the opportunity to perform in front of the world, well, they don't in front of the world to where they can not only showcase their singing vocal talents, but visually showcase what they are. Sometimes artists take this opportunity to make a stance about something they believe in. Well, Adam Lambert, who has admitted that he's openly gay, basically took a stance on that. Took a stance where he basically did things on that award show that surprised everybody. For example, he kissed his male keyboard artist. Now some people might say, oh, that's no big deal, we know he's gay. But then to walk them around like dogs and to shove a guy's head into your crotch, almost where your dick is, excuse my language, that's going over the edge, don't you think? I mean, take a look at when these award shows are aired. In Eastern and Central time zones, the award shows are aired live. You can't edit them. You can't fix them. They're aired live. I should know, when I used to live in Kansas and I would watch some of these award shows, they were live. And there were some things that I saw that were a little surprising. But I figured, hey, it's live. What are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't stop it. You can't do anything about it. But when you watch the same award show, on the Pacific and Midwest time zones, I mean, not Midwest, but Mountain time zones, you might see it, but then again, you might see a little bit of it. You might see an excursion of it. You might see an excursion of it because they edit out certain scenes, they fuzz out certain things. It's like, they're given time. Basically, they're given time. I mean, let's take a look. The award show, when I used to live in Kansas, would air about 7 o'clock. That would be about 5 o'clock here on the West Coast, which would be 8 there. So when the award show would finally air here, the people out here watching the Eastern and Central time zone live, watching the live feed, if you will, would start editing certain parts in a show. Anyway, what I'm saying is that, getting back to what I'm saying, I know artists take this opportunities like this that are given them to make sometimes a stance of what they believe in. But I have to agree with a lot of people, and I know this might upset some people, but maybe it won't. But I have to agree that if you're going to make a stance, make it in a way that's not going to, you know, be so upsetting to people. I mean, like I said, take a look at the time it aired. Out there in New York and in the Eastern time zone like New York and Central like in Kansas, it was aired live. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You still have kids up, kids and teenagers, young teenagers, up watching it along with parents and families. And they see something like that, that's going to upset them. Especially if, let's say, a very religious family, it's going to upset you. I mean, that is basically, I can't think of, my mom called it's called Madison something that's not appropriate, something that's not worshiping and glorifying to God. It's magical something. Masculating or something like that. I can't think of the word. But that's what it was. And like I say, I'm sure that you have religious families, Christians, Catholics, Baptists, out in the Eastern time zones and Central time zones, and when they saw this live with their kids and their families, they weren't happy about that. I mean, you take a look at Lady Gaga's performance early in the night. Hers, and I know some people might say, oh, come on, you're being too soft, too kind. Her performance was a lot more tame than his. It was a lot more tame. Now, some people might say, well, wait a minute. Some of the things he did, Michael Jackson did when he was alive, Michael Jackson basically has said that when he would touch his crotch, it would surprise him because he'd be getting into the music and all of a sudden, bam. You know? That's what he said. So the truth is, but Adam kept grabbing it from what I've heard, from what a lot of people saw, and did. I mean, overall, what Adam Lambert did is more appropriate for a concert series on adult television, not primetime network television, especially a network that associates itself with a family-renowned company, or is part of a family-renowned company in Disney. Now, the question that a lot of people, that you have to ask yourself, though, the question you got to ask yourself is, what does this do for ABC's future with the American Music Awards? Or what does it do for the American Music Awards' future with ABC? I mean, let's not forget, when Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake had the incident in the Super Bowl many years, about 5 years ago or so, CBS dropped their deal, even though MTV is part of the family that CBS is a part of, Viacom. CBS dropped the deal with MTV to have MTV sponsor the halftime shows at the Super Bowl. Instead, they'd have sponsored it themselves and bring in artists of their own. So the question is, will American Music Awards suffer the same fate? Will they get pulled from this partnership with ABC? Will they have to be picked up by another network? That's the question a lot of people have after this incident. Now, this incident may be overshadowed by the rest of the awards show, and that may save it. That may save the awards show and allow it to stay on ABC. But will it change it? But will it, change the outlook of it? Will it make a lot of other people think about the certain artists they should allow to perform on the show? Will it make them think, okay, maybe we can only have this person present and we have these people perform? Do you think maybe it will make them think? Or do you think maybe this is, like I said, going to result in the same thing that involves CBS, MTV, and the Super Bowl? Do you think that's what's going to happen? I mean, I'm just curious of what the future holds. But anyway, that's all I have to say on this whole subject. I mean, personally, I didn't like what he did. I'm honest with you. When I found out about it on my Xbox, I mean, I watched my Xbox. It's got the NBC site now, and I saw it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy is freaking crazy. I mean, not crazy, but I'm just saying this guy's, out there. He should have known better, but apparently he wanted to take this opportunity to make a stance. But really, that's all I have to say on the situation, on what everybody's been talking about. I mean, I know he's not apologizing for what he did because he feels as though he had just as much right as, say, the women. But let's take a look at this. When Madonna kissed Britney and Christina, she kissed them on cable television award shows, MTV, not network. So there's a difference. But anyway, that's all I have to say, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.